Good morning, good morning. Welcome to Our Talks. Anthony. Today we're going to have a insightful conversation. For those that are new to the channel, we make mental health conversations and content that's going to be beneficial to your personal development in addition to your well-being. However, in today's conversation, we're going to be talking about how to cultivate patience in a fast-paced world. I want to be able to provide strategies overall for that well-being, you know what I mean? So we're able to develop that patience, have a calm, area in our mind where we're able to, enhance that emotional regulation, reduce frustration in everyday life. In a fast-paced world, things has happened, a lot of things are going on. So, really got to be able to take this in consideration where we're able to, have patience, right? So in today's world, everything seems to be moving fast. We have work deadlines, we have social media, we would have a constant need for that instant gratification. We want things now, we want to handle things now. And, if we don't take a pause, it definitely makes us feel stressed, frustrated, and even overwhelmed overall. So I think that cultivating peace is going to be a nice idea. We're able to have a spot that's essential for our overall well-being and our mental health. So like I said, stick with me today. We're going to be really able to grow through this. This is a powerful tool. We're able to build that patience, to stay calm, so we're able to have um, you know more peace when it comes to busy moments and stressful moments, right? So like I said, stick with me, let's grow through this. So our first segment, we're going to be talking about why patience matters in a fast-paced world, right? So patience helps you stay calm and grounded when life feels chaotic, when things are really feeling stressed out, a lot of things going on, right? Cultivating peace improves that emotional regulation, allowing you to respond thoughtfully rather than just impulsively just jumping just to react, just popping off. So got to be able to really think before we respond, make sure that we're regulating ourselves, and patience reduces that stress and that frustration, fostering overall that peaceful well-being. So even studies show that people that have high levels of patience tend to experience low levels of stress and better all emotional health. So the stronger relationships you have in regards to staying strong, staying calm, and understanding these tough situations, you're going to have better insight. So I really I want you guys to take that into consideration, that patience is needed, and we got to really be able to have this to be able to have a good well-being. Next segment, we're going to be talking about understanding the impulse to rush, right? So why you just jump in, right, when things is going on. So our world encourages us to, get instant results, fast food. We have instant messaging. We have, these quick fixes. So we just jump in and we have, results that come really fast. But when you rush, it can make you feel more disconnected or even more anxious. So it's really important for us to regulate that as well and know that as well. But even impulse control is a key to cultivating peace, right? So just regulating, being calm, having those breaks, having that pause. It's about recognizing. It's not about being in control and having things happen right away, but it's really just allowing you to kind of just like just reassess, process, and just think, right? So I really want us to take into consideration about things that are around us, why we act the way we act, why we are so needy, why we, what I mean, and really drive back to that word instant gratification, because wanting things now disturbs that peace and disturbs that well-being, giving you that stress. So I really want us to make sure that we're not going to be anxious, we're not going to be disconnected, we're not going to be taught from the floor up. So we really got to recognize that peace is essential with the practice of understanding patience, right? Third segment, we want to just dive right into is going to be practical strategies for cultivating peace, right? So how can we build peace, right? So off the rip, we're going to be talking about practice mindfulness. I always encourage this, right? So find an area where you're able to cultivate, right, that patience, that peace, where you're able to really think and get your thoughts clearly and really see these things. You can even write them down, or you can just go to like an area where it's calming for you, right? So when you feel impatient, take a moment to really ground yourself. You want to focus on your breathing, being aware of your body, and notice your feeling, right? So this practice shifts your you from a reactive state to a mindful one, right? And fosters that patience, right? So allow yourself to go into an area, like I said, we're able to cultivate, and practice this mindfulness. Next is going to be reframe expectations, right? So you really want to understand that not everything is going to always go as planned. Expect delays, expect setbacks, expect things, sometimes not go the way that they're anticipated. And this can be able to advance and reduce the frustration when you're kind of allowing this and having more understanding that, these things do happen, right? So allow yourself to have, a deep breath, relax your shoulders, and just understand this is just part of life. Sometimes things happen. We can't, and by reframing and having more understanding towards these situations in life, you'll have more peace. Next, I also want to be able to take in consideration is break tasks into smaller steps. This is very important. You know what I mean? Even when you're studying, and this shows is proven too, when you have breaks, it helps, you retain more information. It helps you be more productive. So I really want us to take in consideration that, if you're feeling overwhelmed, break things down into smaller, manageable tasks. You know what I mean? You want to focus on processing, what's going on. It's almost like when you're reading, you don't want to just reading fast. You really want to read for comprehension. What did I read? You feel me? I just blew through this whole page, but I don't know what's going on, right? So don't read just to be racing. You really want to read for the process and the comprehension. So what's really going on rather than what the outcome is, right? So allow yourself, it to really move, through the challenges, like I said, calmly when you're breaking things in tasks. This is something I also do too when I'm doing my academic work on the back end. What I would do is I spend, let's just say 30, 40 minutes of doing work. I'm really focused. All right, 15-minute, 20-minute break. I can scroll a little bit, watch a video, you know what I mean? Something to get me up, or even stretch, walk around the block, you know what I mean? Just these things are really good, get in the sun, and then come back to the work and you have more energy to get the things done. And before you know it, you're doing more work than you ever anticipated. So, I just want you to take that in consideration that breaks are essential. You got to allow your body, your mind to really, have a recess break, almost like you was in middle school, you know what I mean? So identify some of these things in your world and, make the accommodations for yourself. Next, we're going to be talking about shift your perspective. So when you are impatient, you really got to ask yourself, you know what I mean? Ask yourself, what can I learn from this situation? Viewing the delays or challenges as opportunities to grow can help you cultivate that patience and understanding, right? So shift your perspective, change it to positive mentality, really think about what's going on. How can I really refrain from, keeping myself stagnant and keeping myself, anxious and mad and frustrated when these things arise. So like I said, try to be aware of your body, your emotions, your mind, and your thoughts, right? Because, I think that when we have patience, we're able to really think and assess with a calmer mindset. When we just kind of just jump. So just really reassess these things. Like I said, overall, shift your perspective, be positive, take those breaks and reframe, the expectations, kind of just reduce that being in control and having things always be your way, and then practice mindfulness. All these things will help you as you navigate through. So really take those essential strategies and that will help you cultivate patience. However, we're going to be talking about the powerful of compassion and developing patience, right? So you got to be kind to yourself throughout the process, right? So being patient, with others, starts with being patient to yourself. So it starts within you, right? So self-compassion helps you manage your frustrations when you're, when things don't go as planned, right? So things happen, people make mistakes too, and I understand sometimes too when you're at that red light or you're at, a coffee shop or you're trying to pick up some food or something like that. And you just like, I'm just trying to get in and get out and I don't have time for this, you know what I mean? But we have to understand that, put yourself in other people's shoes, you know what I mean? We really gotta take a break. It's not always about us, but like I said too, it starts with us. We have to kind of love ourselves through this process. We're doing the best that we can, but we have to really get attuned to our thoughts and our emotions in the body, right? So if, it's hard, for yourself and you're feeling, impatient, it only creates more stress. I really want you to take that in consideration when you're just getting yourself more amped up. Like I'm saying, be really aware of the mindset that's going on in your mind, right? So instead of, give yourself the permission to take things one step at a time, you know what I mean? So just take it easy on yourself, you know what I mean? Especially, like I said, we're in a fast-paced world. A lot of things are going on. We're busy. We got family problems. We got our own problems. We have work and other expectations. We have our own There's so many things that we have to do, you know what I mean? And we have to be patient with ourselves because we're doing the best that we can, right? But like I said, have a positive mindset and things will gradually be able to progress. Next segment, we're going to be talking about real life benefits in regards to cultivating that patience. Life don't get any realer, so let's stick with me. You feel me? So real examples, right? So improve relationships, right? So patience allows you for deeper listening and understanding, which strengthens connection with others, right? So if you're trying to improve your relationships with friends, you know what I mean, with your family, with your partner, right? So you really got to take in consideration. This is going to be able to help you, navigate stressful times when you have patience. You know what I mean? So I really want to take that in consideration. Also, too, you don't want to say something that you may regret. You know what I mean? Some of us out here, left off on a bad foot when it comes to some of the, connections that we had in our previous years. You know what I mean? And life be life, and you know what I mean, things be happening. I understand that, but this is what I'm saying. It's really important for us to have patience, so we're able to recognize, be calm, think before we react, right? So I really want us to take that in consideration. I want you to be able to have improved relationships, good connections, and we need people around us. We need loving, supportive, you know what I mean, people around us. So if we want to be able to have positive interactions and good relationships, we got to really be able to take in consideration that patience is necessary. Next is better decision making, right? So patience helps us take, a step back and reconsider, our options clearly, right? And then leading us to wiser decisions. You know what I mean? For instance, people's telling you, for instance, like the high school situation, when you're going from high school and you're trying to figure out the next step of your journey, whether it's military, whether it's going to a 4-year or community college, or even just jumping into work, right? So it's just like there's so many different options, but patience allows you to really think about what's best for you. Getting you accustomed to talking to a career coach or counselor or, an academic advisor, like really talking to people and thinking about what's best for you. So patience allows you to really think about and assess what's best for you. So I really want us to think about, don't just rush. Don't be just thinking about what other people got to say, family expectations, people are projecting, what you're supposed to be doing. You know what I mean? Like really think about what you want to do with your life. So when you have patience in the real life, in the real world, real life applications, what we're talking about right now, patience is going to help you. Last but not least, but increase resilience, right? So we're trying to navigate through difficult situations, right? When things be popping off, patience is going to help you. So by staying calm in challenging situations, you build emotional resilience, right? And avoid, overwhelmed by the stress. So patience allows you to just control yourself, you know what I mean? Keeping you well put together, right? And allowing you to really think before, like I said, you react, and overall keeping you calm. So when it comes to research insights, studies show that patience is linked to greater life satisfaction and healthier relationships. Patience also improves self-control, which is crucial for achieving long-term goals. So if you're really trying to navigate, get to your bag, get to where you want to be, whatever you want to do, and, really feel accomplished, patience is really essential because it's going to help you navigate through these difficult situations, making better decision making, help you, navigate and talking to people, regardless of good and bad interaction. Like it really helps you overall. You know what I mean? So I really want us to take it into consideration for life satisfaction and, like I said, healthier relationships. So overall, just wrapping this thing up, patience is, a path to peace in, a fast-paced world. Like I said, a lot of things going on. So patience is not about waiting passively, you know what I mean? Or just staying present and managing your emotions and, staying calm. It's about really, just regulating all these things as life is moving fast. You know what I mean? So cultivating peace, takes time, but the best reward is, when you get to adopt a better emotional well-being. But like I said, with that mindfulness, with self-compassion, being good to yourself, being nice to yourself, being kind to yourself, you're able to help yourself out, but you're also able to spread that love out to others. So when stressful moments happen, we're able to take it on with grace and recognize that peace is essential. So may peace be with you, you know what I mean? And may you be patient with others and be patient with yourself. Take it easy. If you found this video beneficial, throw a thumbs up, subscribe, share possible, you know what I mean? And comment if necessary. I'll see you on the next one. Take it easy.